And coming into this game, it is an interesting managerial battle. Carlo Ancelotti, he's been there, won it all. Scott Parker did well to get you out of the Championship, but maybe not got the most experience of any manager in the league. So what have you made of his performance this season?
Scott Parker, I said it's a weird one because although we're in the bottom three and we are, not close to safety at the moment, I think he's done a good job this season. If anything, he's probably done a better job than if you look at Fulham fans now, they're probably happier with Scott Parker now than he were at this point last season. I feel like the way he sets his teams up actually maybe suits us more in the Premier League, a bit more than the Championship, because obviously it allows us to sit back and then hit teams on the counter attack. I'm fairly happy with Scott Parker. Obviously, I think he could be doing better. But I think often when it comes to it, his hands are quite tied behind his back when it comes to our ownership situation. Obviously, we're owned by Shahid Khan, who took over from Mohamed Al Fayed in 2013. And since then, it's not been great. He's gone through quite a few managers. In 13-14, we had 3 managers. 2 seasons ago, we had 3 managers. And, he has his son, who's our director of football or general manager, because he's an American, likes to call himself. And, he's sort of in charge of the recruitment process. And, he's always quite active on social media, talking rubbish. He was piping up again last night. So I think Scott Parker's hands are often tied behind his back, but I'm not saying I'm delighted with the job Scott Parker's doing this season, but I'm happy enough with it, with sort of the situation he's been in, especially with, the quick turnaround between the start of the season and the playoff final. It's probably only about a month, they had between beating Brentford in the final to playing Arsenal on the opening day. So, yeah, I'm fairly happy with the job Scott Parker's doing. He could be doing better, but, it's not getting to the point where I'm calling for Scott Parker to leave the club. I mean, there's some Fulham fans who will be saying that, but I think, with what Scott Parker's done this season, I think you can only be happy with it. I think, it's just, he hasn't, as I mentioned before, he hasn't built on the solid foundations he did build in November and December, where he made us solid at the back, which you weren't before. And that's been our biggest issue is, yes, we've looked good in regard to, keeping the goals out, but it's just, he doesn't seem to create enough, as I mentioned, but it's also when if you see the game's not going the right way, when he makes substitutions, he's not proactive, he's more reactive to a situation. So something will have to tend to go wrong for him to make a big change. He won't make a change for 60, 65 minutes. And sometimes he needs to do that. We've been playing this 5 at the back formation at times, and it's great for defensive solidity, but going forward sometimes we need to switch it to a 4 at the back a bit earlier. He should have seen against West Brom, for example, when they got an early goal in the second half. I thought we should have ended the game in the first. We could have been 3, 4, 5-0 up and only went in at 1-0. He should have seen, Allardyce has changed something here, or he said something to his players. And I think Gobert should have reacted a lot sooner to changing us to 4 at the back, to go forward and cause West Brom problems. Because as soon as we did take a defender off and bring in a more attacking player, and I think it was Olorina who came off, we looked like we were in the ascendancy again. So I think that is one thing that Scott Parker needs to improve on, is trying to react to things a lot quicker, being proactive and trying to change games, because I don't think he does that. But he, as I said, he's made us solid enough at the back. It's just there is definitely sort of cause for concern with our attacking outlet with the sort of tactics he's deploying.
Yeah, and you've got a couple of former Everton players playing at the club. Of course, you signed Anthony Robinson in the summer transfer window, as well as Ademola Lookman quite late on. So how have those two performed? If for an Everton fan that doesn't really watch too many of your games, how have they been getting on?
Lookman's definitely our best attacking outlet this season, I'd say. He's maybe not our top goal scorer in Bobby Reid, but he's the only player really, I'd say, in our front three who can create something out of nothing, or he can be surrounded by players and get past them to create chances for opposition players. You just need to look at a goal against Tottenham when he swings in the ball for Ivan Cavalera's header. So yeah, Ademola Lookman I've been very impressed by. Obviously he had that penalty situation against West Ham, and I think he's bounced back from that excellently. That could have sort of ended his loan spell, ended his Fulham career really, if he didn't bounce back from that. But he bounced back from excellently. I think we had Leicester the following game, and he scored. I think he either scored then, or he scored a goal on a counter attack. And I think he's been our best player since then, really. So I think Ademola Lookman we're really seeing. But as we mentioned, it's still sparks. It's not every single game he's our best player kind of thing, but he is the one player on our team who can really create something out of nothing. He's really the directness of his attacking play is something that we don't have in other players. Ruben Loftus-Cheek doesn't do that. Bobby Reid is more one who sort of pops up late and is a good finisher. Cavallero can hold the ball up, but when it comes to decisiveness and attack in the attacking third, we don't really see that from him. The same with Mitrovic is also someone to hold the ball up and play in the likes of Alamola Lookman. Then Anthony Robinson, apart from his red card against Chelsea, I've been very impressed with him. The wing-back system we've been playing relies on someone like Anthony Robinson bombing down that left-hand side and whipping balls into the box or coming on the inside and causing problems. So, yeah, and both players have been very impressed with. And, yeah, Anthony Robinson, I think, seems to be a bargain, only getting it for £2 or £3 million from Wigan. And as commentators seem to like to mention every single game, he obviously fell through to AC Milan last season. But, I mean, yeah, I don't think we've had a game where he's played where the commentators haven't mentioned that. But, both players have been thoroughly impressive this season and probably have been two of our better players.
Yeah, and on deadline day, obviously Fulham and Everton went head-to-head to sign Josh King, who went all the way to 1 o'clock in the morning. There was a lot of drama all day about, which side is he going to choose. And I'm wondering how much of an impact that's going to have on the rest of the season, because you clearly felt the need to sign another forward. Maybe that's because of a lack of goals this season. Of course, Bobby Reid is your main goal scorer. So what was the feeling around that whole day for a Fulham fan, and how much of an impact do you think it's going to be on the rest of the season that you didn't manage to get that one across the line?
It wasn't necessarily the fact we didn't get Josh King. It was more the fact is the entire window we've needed a striker. We ended up getting Josh Maja on loan from Bordeaux, and as I mentioned before, with our ownership situation, Tony Khan, he'll be posting on social media about his All Elite Wrestling company, but it's like, hang on, mate. If you're gonna do, he says, I can do all three jobs. Well, if you can do all three jobs, then we realistically, if we're looking to stay up, should be ending up with at least someone with some Premier League experience. I know Josh Madge has got an okay scoring record in Bordeaux, but come on, we need to be bringing in Premier League quality, and that's why it was annoying to miss out on Josh King. It wasn't Josh King. Oh, we need Josh King as a player. We just needed a player in his mould with Premier League experience, which obviously Josh King has. So it was disappointing in that sense, and I think we could be looking back at the January transfer window as a period where that could be one of the big reasons why we do go down, is because we didn't build on this foundation. If we brought in a striker early in January, then our season could be looking totally different right now. That West Brom game we probably could have won. If we won that game, we would have maybe scored one of the chances we created against West Ham. That's an extra 4 points in the locker. And with Brighton's wins and Newcastle's wins recently, we'd be definitely still in the conversation. I think we are, because we got to play Brighton twice, but yeah, it's just, I think the January transfer window could be ended up something that really cost us quite hard. And with you guys getting Josh King instead of us, that could be a real point that the fans speak to, is why we didn't stay up this season.
Yeah, and then what kind of starting lineup can we expect to see? I know there's been a bit of, chopping and changing here and there this season for yourselves, and has been the same for everyone, managers are having to rotate, and a few teams picking up quite a few injuries now. So what lineup can we be expecting on Sunday?
Well, you expect to see Alphonse Areola in goal, who I think's one of the best goalkeepers in the league outside of the top six. Really, I think actually if we go down, he should be a goalkeeper that you guys should be looking at. I think Areola's been sublime for us this season. He's definitely shown his Premier League quality. And I think he's the top half at least Premier League quality. He's been sensational for us. So you have him in net. Then we sort of play a back five defensively, then sort of sometimes a back four going forward. But I think because we're going away to Everton where we never get a result, I think it will be predominantly a back five. So your three centre-backs will be Ola Reina, Tosin Adarabioyo and Joaquin Anderson, who've been very solid for us since they've come in. Then I expect the wing-backs, you'll have Robinson on the left-hand side. Then I imagine he'll pick Bobby Reid on the right, who sort of plays this weird right wing-back, right wing position, sort of, and it depends if we're going forward or defensively. But I imagine he'll play Robinson and Bobby Reid in each of those positions. Then in the midfield, I expect probably Anguissa and Harrison Reid to play a part, but Harrison Reid sort of has had an injury issue, so I'm not too sure on that. If it's not him, you'll see someone like Mario Lemina coming in again, who's been decent for us. And then the front three, I never know with Scott Parker, because we needed to score goals against West Ham and we don't play either striker. But I hope to see Mitrovic in this game, because I think he can cause you guys issues, and I think it's going to be a point where we need someone who's going to be able to hold the ball up, and Mitrovic is going to be able to do that. So I hope to see him down the middle with Alamola Lookman on the left-hand side. Then I expect to see Ruben Loftus-Cheek on the right-hand side. I personally wouldn't want to play Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I'm not his biggest fan. I would actually like to see Bobby Reid played in a front three with a Lookman and Mitrovic, and then you can put Kene Tete a right wing-back. But I think Scott Parker will stick with Loftus-Cheek, so I think you'll see Bobby Reid in the right wing-back position who have then lost his cheek and Lookman running off Mitrovic down the middle.
Yeah, and out of those players, who would you say the Everton fans need to look out for the most, and who maybe poses the biggest threat to our team?
I think it is Lookman, because I think obviously he's quite quiet in a reverse fixture, so I think he does want to prove a point, especially it being at Goodison Park as well. So I think he's really going to want to prove a point. But yeah, I'd say him, and I'd also say Bobby Reid, because he's our top goal scorer. And I don't think people, when they look at Fulham's team, he's not the first player they think about. But he sort of drifts in and from the right hand side. And you need to be wary of that. Him coming in lately and scoring the goals. But so those are the main two going forward. I think when it comes to getting in behind our defence, I think what you want to do is sort of take advantage of how Anthony Robinson plays. So you want to get in behind him, and sort of that gap between him and the centre back is where the areas are going to be key for you guys to create chances. Because actually, defensively in the air, we're fine. We're quite a tall side. Adebayo's are 6'5", Anderson's 6'3", Olarena's 6 foot, 6'1". So we have got tall players about, and Gisa's over 6 foot in the middle of the park as well. So I think it is finding those gaps in between the wing backs and the centre backs to try and exploit. It's more down the left hand side than the right, because obviously with the right we've got Olarina, who's has played at fullback and wing back forward, so he can cover in that sort of position. So yeah, I think it is really you guys trying to get in behind our wing backs and trying to create the space that way. But I think for you guys won't have an abundance of chances, but I do think so. It's more. I think again, as with most of our games this season, this game is simply going to be the fact of who can create and be the most clinical.
Yeah, and I've got two more questions before we round off the video. First of all, score predictions.
If I'm gonna go with my heart, I'll say we can hopefully get a 1-1 draw. But I know it's Fulham going to Goodison Park, so most likely it'll probably result in a loss for us. But I think that the weird thing for us now is we're at a point where, what does a draw do for us? Really, we're at a point where we need to go for the game. So that's why I probably think we will lose the game, because I think we are going to have to go for it, and I think that's going to open up space for you guys to hit us on a counter attack. So I can always hope we can get our first ever point at Goodison Park, but realistically, I think you guys will be too strong for us. And as we lost to Leicester previously, I also think you'll be able to get a good result against us. But I do think we'll score. But yeah, I think you guys will just nab it 2-1.
And the last question we always like to ask, it's got nothing to do with the game, but what's the best, worst, or strangest meeting you've had with a celebrity or a footballer? What's the first one that comes to your mind?
It's always on like pre-season when it comes to Fulham. So
Yeah.
there's been a few weird ones. When we played away at Motherwell, I think this is when Scott Parker was sort of coming towards the end of it, and I sort of give him a bit of jip about, oh, nice briefcase and suit, mate. And I think he gave me a bit of jip about the bag I was wearing at the time or something. Then away in Cork in pre-season, we met all the players in a nightclub, and this is when Scott Parker was still playing for us, and we were like, oh, can we have a picture, Scott? And he was like, oh, no, I'm with the boys tonight. And we're like, it's pre-season in Cork, Scott. I don't think two people are going to see it. And then we ended up, having a few drinks with the Fulham players that night. That was quite a weird one. A pre-season game in the Algarve. I remember Cordy Woodrow telling one of me and my mates to shut up because he told him don't take the corner short. So it's always like a weird pre-season moment, because I think obviously they're still doing their training. We're sort of just there for a jolly up. We're not too bothered about the football. But yeah, no. So there's always been quite a few weird pre-season moments. There's not been too many at games. I said the more time I've just been annoyed by it. I remember back in the depths of when we were in the Championship, when we first came down in 2014. I think it must have been 2015. Probably near close to the anniversary now. We're bolting away on a Tuesday night. There was 120 Fulham fans there or something stupid because it was freezing cold. We were playing terribly. And then like one player came over and thanked us. We're like, come on, we've come to Bolton on a Tuesday night here. But, weird moments for me, definitely probably just something that's happened in a pre-season tour.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much. That was Dom Best from the Fulhamish podcast. Brilliant insight into the game on Sunday. Dom, if you want to let our followers know, where can they find you? Where can they find your videos?
Yes, we can find our videos on our YouTube channel. If you just search Fulhamish into YouTube, I'm sure it will come up. Obviously, we've done a preview with yourself, but we always do instant match reactions, like a sort of post-time pub reaction kind of thing, without obviously being allowed in the pub right now. We do previews, and then our guys Jack and Joe do a sort of South West Essential each week, just sort of analysing and deep diving into all the biggest Fulham issues of the week. But obviously, our main sort of outputs are podcasts, so you can find us on Twitter at Fulhamish Pod, same on Instagram as well. If you want to find me, I'm at Radio Bets on Twitter as well. But yeah, thanks very much for letting us come on.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming on. It was really good insight. And thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to let us know in the comments below what you think about all the questions we asked today. What are your predictions for the game? And, well, from an Everton perspective, let's hope we can keep this very good form going and hopefully maybe a bit of a calmer game than we've gotten used to in the past few days. So thank you very much for watching, and join us next time on the Toffee Blue. No, no,